Those three people, semifinals playoff worthy, is malpractice.
The WNBA was rocked by a fiery meltdown that has the entire basketball world buzzing. And at the center of it all is Cheryl Reeve. Yes, the legendary head coach who has built a reputation as one of the most passionate, outspoken voices in the league, absolutely snapped after a controversial no call in the playoffs. And when I say snapped, I don't just mean a few heated words on the sideline. No, Cheryl Reeve unloaded with a tirade so scorching that it has fans, players, and even league officials scrambling to pick up the pieces. This wasn't just another coach complaining about officiating. This was a direct shot at the credibility of the league itself. And it might go down as one of the most humiliating nights in WNBA history. So what exactly happened? Late in a tight playoff game with everything on the line, Minnesota star Napheesa Collier was stripped of the ball on what Reeve was convinced was an obvious foul. To her, this wasn't just a missed call, it was malpractice. She stormed the court, screaming at the officials, her assistants trying to hold her back, the crowd in shock. By the time the chaos settled, Reeve had been tossed from the game, and Minnesota's playoff hopes looked all but crushed. Cameras caught her screaming that the league needed a change of leadership at the officiating level, and those words are still echoing across the basketball landscape. This wasn't just heat-of-the-moment anger. This was a public declaration that the WNBA has an officiating problem so severe that it threatens the future of the game. Let's be real, officiating complaints aren't new in basketball. Coaches in every league, from high school to the NBA, will tell you refs miss calls all the time. But what made this moment different is that Cheryl Reeve isn't some rookie coach trying to make headlines. She's one of the most respected figures in the sport, a multiple-time champion, someone whose opinion carries real weight. When she says the WNBA's officiating is a disgrace, people listen. And when she does it in front of cameras in the middle of the playoffs, the humiliation isn't just for the referees, it's for the entire league. Now here's the twist. Replay angles suggest the steal was actually clean. Alyssa Thomas timed it perfectly, stripped the ball, and scored in transition. No foul, no controversy, at least in the eyes of neutral observers. But to Reeve, watching her star player stumble, collapse, and possibly injure herself on the play, it looked like injustice. In her eyes, her team was robbed, and instead of bottling up that frustration, she let it explode. The problem, when your meltdown overshadows the actual game, when fans leave talking more about your tirade than the basketball itself, the league's credibility takes a hit. And that's the humiliation for the WNBA. For years, the league has fought desperately for attention, for respect, for a place in the mainstream sports conversation. And when it finally gets headlines, what are people talking about? Not an incredible shot, not a legendary performance, not the rise of a new superstar. No, they're talking about Cheryl Reeve screaming about incompetent referees. They're talking about yet another controversy, another black eye for a league that can't afford them. For casual fans peeking in, this looks like dysfunction. For critics of the league, it's fuel for the fire. And for supporters, it's just exhausting. But let's not get it twisted. Cheryl Reeve isn't entirely wrong. The officiating in the WNBA has been a hot topic all season. Fans have complained about inconsistency. Players have taken subtle shots in interviews. Even coaches who usually keep things quiet have admitted off the record that they don't trust the refs in big games. And when you dig deeper, the problem isn't surprising. WNBA referees are underpaid compared to their NBA counterparts. They don't have the same training resources, the same developmental pipeline, or the same security. In many ways, the league has treated officiating like an afterthought, and now it's coming back to haunt them. You get what you pay for, and right now, the WNBA is paying for mediocrity. That's why Reeve's tirade, as embarrassing as it looked, might actually spark something bigger. Her words cut deep. A change of leadership. She wasn't just blaming the refs on the floor, she was calling out the league office, directly putting Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and her staff on the spot. She was basically saying, "You are the problem." That's a nuclear statement in professional sports because it forces the league to respond. Do they defend their officials and punish Reeve even harder? Or do they finally admit that their system is broken and take steps to fix it? Either way, the WNBA is in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, and Cheryl Reeve made sure of it. Now, from a fan perspective, this moment is fascinating. On one hand, you can feel for Reeve. Her team is battling in the playoffs, her star player goes down on a pivotal possession, and the officials don't blow the whistle. Adrenaline is high, emotions are raw, and she reacts. That's human. That's passion. That's why fans love her. But on the other hand, it's easy to see why people are mocking this as another example of the league being a circus. The memes are already flying. Clips of Reeves storming the court are going viral, not because people care about the WNBA, but because they find the meltdown entertaining. And that's where the humiliation cuts even deeper. When your controversies get more traction than your highlights, your brand is in trouble. But let's zoom out. What does this mean for the Minnesota Lynx themselves? Without Collier, their playoff hopes are slim. With Reeve suspended, the team looks even more vulnerable. This was supposed to be a year where they pushed for another title, a chance to remind everyone that there's still a dynasty in waiting. Instead, they're on the brink of collapse, and the narrative has shifted from title contenders to ref bashers. Reeve's emotional outburst might have energized her players for a moment, but the long-term damage could outweigh any short-term motivation. For the league as a whole, though, this is a moment of truth. The WNBA is growing. Attendance is up, ratings are climbing, Caitlin Clark has brought a wave of new fans, and the momentum is real. But momentum can be fragile. Every time officiating becomes the headline, every time coaches accuse the league of malpractice, that progress slows down. Fans don't want to hear excuses. They don't want to watch games decided by chaos. They want fair competition, clean finishes, and storylines built around players, not referees. And this is where the WNBA has to make a choice. Do they double down and defend their system, brushing Reeve off as just another coach who couldn't handle a loss? Or do they acknowledge that if even their most respected voices are screaming about officiating, maybe it's time to invest in a real fix? Because make no mistake, this won't be the last controversy. As the league grows, as the stakes get higher, every missed call will feel bigger, every mistake more glaring. If the WNBA wants to avoid more humiliating headlines, they need to treat officiating with the same seriousness they treat marketing and expansion. As for Cheryl Reeve, love her or hate her, she made one thing clear. She's not afraid to put the league on blast. And that's why fans are split. Some see her as a hero, standing up for players, demanding accountability, fighting for a better product. Others see her as a whiner, someone whose tantrum embarrassed her team and handed critics more ammo. But that's what makes the story so captivating. It's not black and white. It's messy, emotional, and raw. The exact kind of drama that sports fans can't stop talking about. And maybe, just maybe, that's the silver lining. For once, people are talking about the WNBA, not because of an off-court controversy, not because of social media campaigns, but because of the intensity, the passion, and yes, the chaos of a playoff game. It might be humiliating in the moment, but in the long run, this might spark the kind of change the league desperately needs. Cheryl Reeve lit a fire under the WNBA. And now the question is, will it burn everything down, or will it finally force the league to rise? So here's the bottom line. Cheryl Reeve's tirade wasn't just about one missed call. It was about years of frustration boiling over, about a league that's still trying to find its identity, about a sport caught between growth and growing pains. The WNBA has to decide what it wants to be, a league where headlines are made by stars shining, or a league where coaches humiliate them by screaming about incompetence. Because right now, the humiliation is real, and it's on full display for the entire basketball world to see. And if you thought this story was over, think again. The playoffs are still rolling, the tension is sky high, and every whistle from here on out is going to feel like life or death. Fans are watching, players are watching, and yes, Cheryl Reeve is watching. The WNBA has been put on notice. Now it's time to see if they can handle the pressure.